Hi friends, it's Sunday night, and don't worry, I hadn't forgotten about you. I just thought we would do some bedtime stories tonight. So hopefully you're not asleep yet, but if you have already gone to sleep, you can always do it the next night and listen to them as you go to sleep maybe. This first one is a little board book, and it's called Sheep Go to Sleep, and it's by Nancy Shaw, and the illustrations are by Margot Apple. That's a fun name. Sheep go to sleep. Winking fireflies light the way as sheep stroll home to hit the hay. Five sheep settle in their shed using straw to make their bed. Screeches, rustling, noisy crickets. Sheep hear hoots from nearby thickets. Wonder what's making that hooting sound. What do you think? Yeah, owls. Nighttime noises scare the sheep. Really, who could go to sleep? They keep hearing all these things. Sheep bleat, sheep sigh. A trusty collie wanders by. A collie is a type of dog. What would make the sheep feel snug? The collie gives a sheep a hug. The tired sheep begins to snore. One asleep. How many more? One sheep asks to have a drink. The collie gets it from the sink. Another sheep begins to snore. Two asleep. How many more? 1, 2, 3. A lullaby should calm the flock. Sheep tap rhythm, hum and rock. Another sheep begins to snore. 3 asleep. How many more? 1, 2. One sheep wants a teddy bear. The collie brings his own to share. Oh, there it is. Another sheep begins to snore. 4 asleep. How many more? The last one wants a cozy quilt to snuggle in the bed she built. Think the dog can get her a quilt? Oh. The collie gives a weary grin, and he fetches one and tucks her in. Oh. All the sheep have closed their eyes. They'll drowse and dream until sunrise. They dream they can fly. Have you ever had a dream like that you could fly? Those are fun dreams. But where is the dog who looks after the sheep? Wonder where the dog is. He's under the haystack, fast asleep. You see him right there. That might be kind of like your bedtime routine where, oh, I need a snuggle. I need a drink of water. Can you sing me a song? I need my favorite blankie. I'm glad that the doggy was there to help. This one's called Good Night Pillow Fight. Okay, I'm not suggesting you have a pillow fight before bedtime, but here we go. This one is by Sally Cook, and it's illustrated by Laura Cornell. Good Night Pillow Fight. It's a very easy, short book. Good night. Everybody's getting ready for bed. Taking baths and brushing teeth. Pillow fight. kiss my cheek. Hide and seek. Wait a second. They're wanting to play games. Bedtime. What? All the parents are saying, lights out now. I wonder if you've ever heard that before. Pow, 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 pow. I'm warning you. That's what Mommy might say. And this little girl's saying, peekaboo. No more juice. Mother Goose. She wants to read a book. Jack Sprat. No, not that. 3 Bears. Who cares? This one? No fun. Have you ever been picky and said, no, Mom, not that book? No, not that one either. Yeah, I've already read that one. Uh-oh. And then you get this. Go to bed. You haven't read. Let's count sheep. I can't sleep. Give it a try. Why should I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are there lots more? 5, 6, 7, 8. Isn't it getting late? So many sheep. Am I asleep? Off with the light. Good night. Sometimes it's hard to settle down and you want to play games, or again, you want that last drink of water or a specific book, and Mommy's just like, aha, go to bed. It's time to go to bed. Well, this is another one. I don't encourage you to do this right before bedtime. It strictly says no jumping on the bed. This is a fun story. It's a very good rhyming story, so listen for some of the rhyming words. This is the author and the illustrator are the same person, Ted Arnold. I think you'll like this one. But listen for the rhyming words. I'm going to show you the pictures. The words are on the back side, so I'm going to show you this part. In his bedroom, near the top floor of a tall apartment building, Walter was getting ready for bed. Before turning out the light, his father said, "If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000,000 times, no jumping on the bed. One day it'll crash right through the floor. Now lie down and go to sleep." "Oh, just one more time," said Walter. But instead, he plopped down on his pillow and squeezed his eyes closed. "Good night," said his father. He turned off the light and pulled the door almost closed. The room was dark and quiet, except for a soft thump, thump, thump coming from the room above. Oh, that's Delbert upstairs. Walter lives in an apartment building, so each family has a different level, and he can hear the person above him making a thumping sound. He switched on his bedroom lamp. Well, if Delbert can jump on his bed, so can I. Walter bounced higher and higher, and on his last jump, his hair brushed the ceiling. But when he came back down, his mattress creaked, the floor cracked, and the whole bed tipped sideways. Then down through the floor fell Walter, bed and all. Uh-oh. Now, it just so happened that Walter's bedroom was directly above Miss Hattie's dining room. She was more than a little surprised when a bed fell through her ceiling and Walter landed in her plate of spaghetti and meatballs. "Well, I was not expecting company for dinner," she mumbled with a mouthful of meatballs. Probably sounded something more like this. "Well, I'm not expecting company for dinner." And there he is. He came through the ceiling and landed in her plate. Said Walter. "Spaghetti is my all-time favorite." But before he could eat, his bed smashed through the table and kept right on crashing down through the floor. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, the plate of spaghetti, the bed, and all. Uh-oh. Now, Miss Hattie's dining room was above Mr. Matty's TV room. Mr. Matty didn't even notice a bed falling through his ceiling until a meatball bounced off his head. Miss Hattie tumbled into his lap, and Walter splashed into the aquarium. "Well, I've already had my bath tonight," said Walter. He wanted to stay and watch the monsters on TV, but his bed crunched through the floor, taking the TV with it. Oh, no. Well, down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Walter's Aunt Batty had just moved into the building, and she was still unpacking when Walter, dripping wet, tumbled through the ceiling right into a box containing her rare Patagonian stamp collection, along with Miss Hattie and Mr. Matty. Oh, my goodness. Can you see them all coming down? When he burst through the bottom of the box, Walter was a sticky mess. "Well, I see you've started collecting stamps," said Aunt Batty as she followed Walter through the new hole in the floor. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, Aunt Batty, the stamp collection, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Well, Patty and Natty had worked 3 days building their dream house with blocks, and afraid that Fatty Cat might knock something over, they carefully shooed her out for the night. Then the upstairs neighbors crashed through the ceiling. "Excuse me," said Walter, remembering his manners. "We won't be staying long." The words were barely past his lips when Walter's bed bashed through the floor and continued on its way. Oh, dear. Here they are crashing the blocks. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, Aunt Batty, Patty, Natty, Fatty Cat, the stamps, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. And the last thing Mr. Hanratty had ever expected to see was a bed coming through his studio ceiling, followed by nearly everyone in the building. What do you think Mr. Hanratty does? He's an artist. "Well, if I'd known you wanted to see my paintings," he said, "I would have tidied up a bit." But they never once paused to admire Mr. Hanratty's colorful artwork. They were too busy splashing in his cans of paint. Then his floor caved in, and everyone followed Walter's bed down through the floor. Down and down fell Walter, Miss Hattie, Mr. Matty, Aunt Batty, Patty and Natty, Mr. Hanratty, Fatty Cat, 17 cans of paint, the stamps, the TV, the spaghetti, the bed, and all. Whoa. Maestro Ferlingatti and his string quartet were astonished by the colorful crowd that fell from the ceiling. The maestro loved an audience, even if they dropped in unannounced. But when Walter's bed smashed through the floor and paint splattered everywhere, the maestro wished his audience would leave. And so they did, along with his string quartet. Maestro Ferlinghetti's practice room floor was also the basement ceiling. It was dark and quiet as midnight down there, and Walter squeezed his eyes closed and tumbled through the darkness until he landed on something soft. He opened his eyes, and everything was in its place. His bedroom lights were out. The door was almost closed, and through it Walter could hear his mother and father talking quietly. "Ooh, no more jumping on the bed for me," mumbled Walter as he lay back down to go to sleep. Suddenly he heard a creak. The ceiling cracked and down came Delbert, bed and all. Down and down fell Delbert. Oh my goodness. Do you think that Maddie actually went all the way down to the basement? Or do you think maybe he had fallen asleep and he was having a dream? I don't know. But I hope you have good dreams tonight. I hope you dream of unicorns and butterflies and fun dragons and castles and whatever makes your heart smile and happy. And I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and I'll be back to read you another story. I love you all. Remember, your mommy loves you, and your teachers love you, and I love you, but who loves you most of all? God does. Bye, friends. Night, night.